Hello YouTubers. Recently, the United States government imposed the toughest round of sanctions on Iran. In short, the United States somehow thinks it has the moral authority to impose sanctions on countries that import oil from Iran. Some would call this a very stupid move. I'm not, however, willing to call these recently announced sanctions a stupid move. Let's be clear. The United States government wants to start a third world war. Given that objective, this is actually a very smart move. How do these sanctions bring us closer to war? Well, progressively increasing sanctions tend to be a precursor to war more often than not, so that should give some indication of the future. Ultimately, these sanctions will result in a further deterioration of the US dollar. You may know from my previous videos or from other sources that the strength of the dollar is almost entirely dependent on how much other countries use the dollar, most notably to buy oil. That's what's called the petrodollar. Does anyone reasonably think that other countries will stop buying energy? What would happen if I told you that I'm going to make you lose your job if you didn't stop buying electricity from the electric company for your energy needs? Well, that's pretty much the effect of these sanctions, with Iran representing the electric company in the analogy. Would you stop buying electricity? Well, of course not. What you would likely do is call the electric company and set up an account with the name of a friend or some other under-the-table deal. This is the same with other countries. Other countries are not going to stop obtaining energy for the needs of their citizens. What they will do is stop buying energy using the dollar. Moreover, China is Iran's biggest buyer of oil, buying approximately 30 million tons from Iran a year. Analysts for the Eurasia Group and anyone with half a brain cell said they expect China to continue buying Iranian oil and may even increase imports. Remember, China introduced the petro-yuan last year to compete against the petrodollar. Other countries will simply start buying oil in the petro-yuan. It's important to know that if an idiot like me can figure this out, then you know that our government also knows it. The only rational conclusion is that the United States, through nefarious means, is encouraging other countries to stop using the dollar. Why would our government do that? In short, because the United States wants to start a major war. Moreover, being cruel to Iran is something that has support by many Americans, particularly evangelical Christians that support Israel in all of its warmongering endeavors. I'm not entirely sure why some Christians advocate for war with Iran, other than to say that some have perverted the gospel by their unquestioned allegiance to Israel. What's clear, however, is that the United States government is using religion to foment hatred and fan the flames of war. It's one more example of how American imperialism will eventually lead to the collapse of our society. Folks, if you've seen my previous videos, you should know that I'm a devoted Christian that doesn't really care if I live or die. That's why I'm not going to lie to you. It's the government and the American media that lies to you. Things will not change unless we are able to unite. As Jesus said, a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. The government and the media have lied to you because they want us to fight among ourselves, preventing us from seeing who the real enemy is. Please show your support for truth by subscribing. Thanks for your time.